Hi everyone, so today I'll be fitting the front suspension on the Camaro. So as I said in my previous video, I've got the Aldan American double adjustable coilover setup. These are the front shockers, obviously with the spring collars. We've got those, and then we've got the coil springs that sort of sit on top of them. So what we're going to do, jack the car up, as you can see I've done, rip the wheel off, create some space. Again, no crazy tools required on this. The only thing that is kind of specialist is some spring clamps. I think you can get these from Amazon for like 20 quid or something. Luckily for me, my brother had a set, so perfect. So yeah, I'll get on with creating some space, whip the wheel off and show you what we're working with. So as you can see, I've created some space, whipped the wheel off, took the caliper off, just hung it up there, took the lower control arm off, or steering rack arm, whatever you call it. Next bit is to take the anti-roll bar link off, and then I've just took the split pin off here, drop this nut out. Then what we'll be able to do is drop the A-arm down, spring will come out, obviously after I've taken the bolt out of the shock from underneath, which is, if you can see here, nope, where is it? There, sorry, them two there, two nuts, two bolts. Pull the shock out and the coil spring out as sort of like one unit. Well, to be honest, the shock will just drop out anyway. But yeah, that's it. It's not particularly difficult. I'll also probably hook up the spring clamps on and just get them to the sort of that tension just before I do it, just in case. Obviously, like I said in the last video, these springs, I've had a coil cut out of them, so they shouldn't be under that much tension. And to be honest with you, once I drop this down, this assembly downwards, they should just kind of like flop out. So it'll be good to see the difference between the two coil springs, because I did do it when I first got the car, when, you know, I was just learning, I didn't have much money. So yeah, we'll get on with that. See you in a second. Change of plan. So I had to go out and buy a ball joint splitter. So if you're doing this job, get one of them. Usually you can just sort of leave the castle nut on. Leave the castle nut on, then just whack the housing with a hammer, and it just sort of like drops down. Obviously won't come off apart because you still got the nut on the bottom on some threads. This wasn't the case. Give it a hammer or 5,000, didn't come out. So I had to nip to the shop and get a ball joint tool. It was like literally £8, so about 10 bucks for you guys in the States. Dead easy though. It's out now, so all I'm going to do is put the jack underneath, put some pressure on the lower put some pressure on the lower A-arm to keep the spring tension there, and then just sort of get this out the way, the brake disc assembly, move that right out the way, and then we'll try and put some spring compressors on there if we can get in. If not, we'll just sort of let it down very slowly with the jack, and then hopefully the spring will pop out and won't shoot me in the face and tear my head off while my wife's out and no one knows I'm dead in the garage. So let's see how we get on with this. So spring's out, as you can see, from the time lapse a little bit there, it was a bit more sketchy than first anticipated. Did not want to come out of that bottom seat, bottom position, so whatever, it's out now. Got plenty of space in there to move around and do what you need to do. So these are the old springs, and I'll compare them with the new. So just for comparison, all busted, new hardness, Men in Black. So yeah, and obviously you can see my redneck engineering with an angle grinder about 5 years ago. Right, so next thing is, like always, I'll clean up the surfaces, probably give it a lick of paint when I'm done, to be honest, because I've hit the side of this a little bit and, you know, tore a bit of the paint off it, which is not a big deal. I'll just wire brush it back and give it a bit of a spray can. So that's it. So I'll stick the new shock in with the spring on. You do get these in the kit from Aldan. They're like a thick piece of billet, and obviously they give strength to the bottom arm, so you put them on the bottom arm, you run your screws up. Sorry, we're upgrading, we haven't got screws anymore. With the kit comes hardware, so we've got bolts, bolt and nut situation now, where before it was just a screw that went into like a little sort of like fast clip. Is what it is. Dead easy. Just want to say I'm not a professional, as you can imagine. Can be done. You just got to have a bit of patience and keep safety in mind, because yeah, I'm Scott Welcome a jackass moment. That could have went really bad if you don't know what you're doing around the springs. I even put as you've probably seen in the time lapse, I even put a crowbar through the centre of it with a hook on it, just so, you know, if it did decide to pop out, I've got that little bit extra security in a crowbar. Either a crowbar is going to fly across the room and hit something on me as well as the spring, or at least the crowbar is going to keep it in position, which is the plan. So as you can see, I've got the setup in there now. Put a little bit of anti-seize on the threads there. It's sorry about casting the shadows. I'm trying to get a light in. There you go. It's bolted in at the top. It's bolted in at the bottom. We're using the T-bar and the strengthening plate there. Everything lines up great. So what you want to do is put the shock in with the coil spring around it. At the top here, put a nut on, so then effectively that's just dangling. Then get underneath, start your bolts in. Let me put a bit of light on. Start your bolts in through the T-bar at the bottom of the shock there. Then once all that's done and in place properly, you can go ahead and tighten the two bottom ones to 35 foot-pound. Then you start obviously reassembling everything, so I'm going to give everything a good clean, bit of a lick of paint and stuff as well at some point, but we'll start reassembling everything. You know, ball joints upper and lower, control arm, anti-roll bar or sway bar. We'll stick the caliper back on, we'll put the wheel on, we'll set it down on the floor, then we can come up top and we can tighten this upper shock bolt. Make sure that's all nice and tight. Then once that's done, we can sort of settle the car down, and then we can measure from the floor to the wheel arch the distance, so we've got a good reference for the other side when we do the other side. The other side is just rinse and repeat of this. It's, you know, it's only nuts and bolts, there's nothing crazy. So yeah, I'll go ahead and I'll stick these together, put the bushings on stuff, and then we'll look what it looks. Sorry. Then we'll see what it looks like once the wheel's on and the car's on the ground. So that's it putting together. As you can see, I just give it a little bit of a spray paint. Everything's put back together now. All good. So much better, nice and clean. Right, let's drop it down. Alright, so we're back on the floor. All looks good. I've came in through the top. Give that bushing down there a bit. Sorry, that shock mounting bushing down there a bit of a tighten. Yeah, so it's done. That's that side complete. So I've done a measurement. I know my camera's all over, like I've got tools and shite everywhere. I've took a measurement from the bottom of the, obviously the bottom of the wheel, the floor, up to the centre of the arch there, and it's 24 3/4 inches, so almost 25 inches, and I think that's sitting all right. Let me get you level. Yeah, I think that's all right. There's about, it's like a 2-knuckler from the top of the tyre, so I think we're all right with that. I think it looks pretty sweet, to be honest. Just the very top's tucked, so I like that. And then obviously I've got the rear's jacked up because I like that stink bug stance no matter what people say. I like it. It's my car, I don't care. No, but that's it, so that's cool. So take from that what you will. I hope you got something out of it. I hope you learn how to, you know, do things a redneck way. It is what it is. It's not a bad job. It's just, you've got to be careful. There are things that can go wrong. You're obviously working underneath the car, so you've got to make sure that the jacks that you're using are a decent quality, and you've got safety lockouts on them if you've got them. You know, and just be careful. Don't be ragging on things and, you know, hanging off stuff to get it loose. It doesn't need it. Get the proper equipment. Don't be a fool like me and try and, you know, smash the ball joints out by whacking the housings or, you know, the frame or anything, because all it does is prolongs the process. Get the right tools and you'll be on your way. Like I said earlier, I'm not an expert, as you can tell, but it's done. The job's done. Everything's tight. All I need to do now is give it a road test, but I'll be doing a bit of a road test in my next couple of videos with the Aldan stuff, and especially obviously at the track. So I'm going to go ahead and do the other side now. Probably took me a little bit longer than it should have, due to me not having the correct tools first time round and basically fannying around. You know, setting the camera up and you know, just double guessing and just making sure and stuff like that. The other side will probably be, I'd be doing half the time. It'll probably be done in an hour ish. So I'm pretty confident that we'll whack that out. So yeah, any questions, obviously, like I said before, leave them in the comments below. Go and check me out on Instagram, the.nightmaro. I'm on TikTok as well and Facebook, but like I said, I've only just started doing them, so they're not on par with the Instagram yet, but we're getting there. Obviously, big massive shout out to Aldan. You know, I couldn't do any of this without them, so that's like perfect. Thank you so much on helping me out with this, and you know, sponsoring the Nightmaro. It's just, my mind's blown. I can't believe it. So I am super happy with this, and I can't wait to go and rip the car up and down the road and have a good test of these. So yeah, I'm really happy. Go check them out, aldanamerican.com. They've definitely got what you need if you're in the market for suspension. Again, drop them a message. They're on Instagram. They're on YouTube as well. They're obviously on Facebook. But until next time, stay safe. Don't do what I do. Do it better. And I'll catch you later. Bye, guys.